we're here to listen to community thoughts about food. We have a few questions that we want to ask, but we first want to start by going around the circle and having everybody introduce themselves. There's also a sign-in sheet over there that we'll be passing around just to get your information. For the introduction, there's a lot of people here, so we want to go quickly. We just want your name and your favorite food. That's it. No explanations. You don't need to go into how you like things cooked. But my name's Andrew, and my favorite food, anything potatoes. That's it. So it will be on the internet. It will be posted on the internet. It won't be on television, though. So. Would you continue by introducing yourself and saying what your favorite food is?
My name is Ram. I don't have a favorite food because you're supposed to have varieties all the time. So if you take one favorite, you're going to kill yourself. So I don't have no favorite food.
Okay, fantastic.
My name's Joe Jordanic. My favorite food is salad.
My name's Jolene Spaneth. My favorite food is actually anything a pastry, but I try to limit it, and I'm a salad eater as well.
Okay.
Hello, my name is June Butler, and my favorite food is anything sweet.
My name is Elle Adams, and my favorite food is anything West Indian. I love West Indian food.
I forgot, as we're going around, could you also say what neighborhood you're coming from?
I am representing Huff.
Okay.
I'm Reverend Crystal Smith, and I am here from Mount Pleasant. And I love salads, but my favorite, I would say greens.
Okay.
I'm Edna Duffy, and my favorite food is homemade vanilla ice cream, which I make. I work in University Circle. I live in Shaker.
Great, thank you.
Kenny Purdue, Huff, by way of Euclid. My favorite food is oxtails, potatoes, and cornbread.
Hi, my name is Nakaya, and my favorite food, I guess, fruit.
Hi, I'm Taryn, and my favorite food is chocolate.
And what neighborhood?
Oh, I live in Parma Heights.
Okay. And we'll start going and go back that way. So Gwen, thank you.
Hi, my name is Gwendolyn Harris. I live in the Collingwood area, and my favorite food is potatoes.
My name is Lila. I live in Beechwood, and I love anything with rice.
My name is Pat McGowan from Glenville, and having a mother who was a dietitian and from the South, I like all kinds of food and still experiencing.
My name is Beverly. I am from Glenville, and even though I really, really like salads, I like ice cream better. Butter pecan.
Irina Protsik, University Circle. I think the best combination would be soup.
My name is Jan Thrope, and I'm from the Shaker Larchmere Buckeye area, and my favorite food is whatever is right in front of me.
Hi, my name's Adele DeMarco Caius. I live in East Cleveland in the Forest Hill neighborhood, and I gotta go with Beverly. My favorite food is salad, but it's a hard toss-up between ice cream, especially anything from Mitchell's.
Hi, I'm Portia Brown. I'm from the Way Park section of Glenville, and I like all vegetables.
Hey, I'm Evan. I'm from the Way Park section of Glenville, and my favorite food is anything my mom makes.
I'm Elena Yodishis. I'm living on the west side now, and basically I've installed salad, ice cream, and whatever I'm eating right now.
What was your name?
What's your name? Elena Yodishis.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, I'm Kim Woodson, and I'm now trying to be a vegan. We're working on it. So I love vegetables.
Hi, I'm Ethel. I'm 2 months here, fresh from Florida. but I'm over on the west side, and my favorite food is spinach.
Welcome.
Glenville area.
I'm Alice, and I eat everything, but I'm trying to do like him and trying to cut out meat. So,
Hi, I'm Joy. My favorite food is rice.
I'm Mike Shafranco. I live in Lakewood, and I love Chipotle burritos.
I'm Sarah Jane Tribble. I live in Cleveland Heights, and I eat salads all the time, but I love French fries and chocolate cake and brownies, and so there. I'll just put that out there.
My name is Willette Moak. I live in the Turning Miles area, and my favorite food is Chipotle's as well.
And
Did you want it?
Oh, my name is Harold Spinks, and mine is greens. Yeah, salad.
And what neighborhood are you from?
Oh, right now I live in University Circle.
Great. Okay. Thanks, and I think he doesn't want to participate. So just to kick off the conversation, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, she started. Did
you like?
So.
I'm in charge of this one.
Yeah, okay, you can start with it then, and then we have two that we'll be passing around. This is one of those open parts of the conversation, though. So if you do want to talk, raise your hand, and if the unused mic, pass it over to somebody that raises their hand, or if someone hasn't participated yet that you notice, please try to get the mics to people that haven't participated yet, so that we can get as many voices in this conversation as possible. So for the first section, we wanted to talk about where food comes from, and where people buy their food. Obviously, there are a lot of different neighborhoods represented here. So if you could reiterate and say what neighborhood you are in again to start off. But we want to kind of narrow down to where the food that people purchase comes from. So whether that is like Mike, whose entire diet is Chipotle burritos, he can say that that's what they eat in Lakewood. Or it might be, for me, Dave's and the farmer's market or Mark's. But that's where I get the majority of my food. But we sort of want to start to talk about where people purchase their food and the sorts of things that they buy. So we're going to start with that. So Rama, do you want to start off and say where you purchase your food and where you get your food?
Like you, the farmers markets, Mark's, and Dave's.
And what sorts of things do you get there?
Usually vegetables and fish. For meat, I go to the halal food store. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this is open, so if any.
I'm a volunteer at the Coit Road Farmers Market, so I buy produce there as well as Mark's, and there's a produce place in Seven Hills I also go to.
Okay. And do you want to participate back there? So.
Thanks. Hi, I live in the Glenville neighborhood, and I shop around. When the open air markets are out in the summer, that's where I get my vegetables. I also grow my own vegetables in a garden, so quite a lot of my vegetables I produce. Beyond that, and after the open air markets, I get my staples from Mark's stores, and then the third level, I guess, would be the West Side Market for the produce and whatever fish and poultry that my family's going to be eating.
What do you mean by third level?
After I come out of my garden, then I go to an open air market. After I leave there, then I go to Mark's, and after I leave there, then I go to the West Side Market. The other grocery stores are typically more expensive. If I can't find it at Mark's, then I'll go to Heinen's or some other store. Everything else is pretty much the same level.
Okay. And then, Elle, did you want to? Oh.
There's someone behind you now.
Oh, okay.
We're kind of.
Ivana, right?
Yes, I do buy my food in Mark's as well. Mostly greens and water. I don't drink water from the pipes, from the faucet, I mean. And also go to Giant Eagle because you can buy some more exotic stuff and some fruits that you wouldn't find in Mark's. Or rutabagas and stuff like that. So.
Just a real quick question. Why don't you? I actually I'm mic'd up. Yeah, thanks. Why don't you drink the water?
From the faucet?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Out of
there is
curiosity.
there is chlorine in it, and it does mimic the hormones.
Okay.
So it does have a strange effect on you. Plus, it tastes horrible. I know you can clean it with the Brita filters and stuff, but I just don't want to bother with this. And spring water in Cleveland is the best. It tastes amazing. I'm buying a Cleveland water actually
Okay. Great.
in the Marks.
So Elle and then Kenny.
I too grow food.
What neighborhood? Also?
Huff.
Okay.
And I manage City Rising Farm, so we grow food in the neighborhood, and we teach people how to grow food for themselves, because the best access is having the education to do it yourself. But we also purchase, and we try to purchase locally from maybe other urban agriculture programs. Riddle sometimes will, say, hey, we need something from there. But we do also go to Dave's, places that are close, because we recognize that transportation is an issue. In Huff, 42% of the people in Huff do not have their own transportation. They use public transportation. So with routes being cut, access to food gets even more difficult. So if we are able to teach more people how to grow their own food, how to create cooperatives where they're working together so that their dollars go further, that's one of the ways to get beyond the barriers of having food in the neighborhood.
Thanks for bringing up transportation, because, and if anybody else wants to address that, please do. Portia's circuit of the places she went sounded like it could take a full day in some cases. So Kenny and then Crystal.
Again, I represent Huff, but I live by way of Euclid. I think I shop pretty much where it's convenient, where we have access, but also financially what I can afford. I want to eat the whole foods and all of that, but financially with my family, I mean, I say, well, okay, if I could get 4 bags of groceries based on my budget, I have to go here to Dave's or Save a Lot, where to me the food quality, it doesn't even look, that good. But if I go over here to Whole Foods, I might walk out of there for the same money with 1 bag. So, but right now, personally, is Dave's supermarket, or, I might go to a Save a Lot to get maybe canned goods, things like that.
Are there things that you can't get that you'd like to get, but freshness and quality aside?
I think that would pretty much sum it up with the freshness. I remember growing up, my dad always shopped at the West Side Market, and they would grow their foods down on Huff. So my parents had 6 to 10 row gardens where they would go out and physically pick the food. Moms would cook it, on a daily basis. Me personally, no. I ain't growing no garden, and, it's convenience. I go where I can and where I can afford.
Okay. Crystal?
Well, first of all, I'm going to address the water issue, because I don't drink Sewer City either. I just do not have not drunk water from the tap and forever.
What's the reasoning for that?
Well, the pipes, for one thing, because it still has lead in it, and it has different it has different toxins and things in the water and in the pipes. And so then from time to time it gets that skim on it, and it smells, coming through the pipes. And so, no, I don't touch that water.
Okay.
And it's one of the reasons why a lot of our children have a learning disability too, because of what they're drinking and getting from the water. And so that water really needs to be tested more than it's being tested. And as far as, where I shop, most of all, what I do is I actually will go out and I have my own garden. and I will, and I have my garden in pots, so it's very easy for me, you know, and because I'm not going to dig up the ground like I used to. I'm not a young chick like I used to be, where I could go and just dig up stuff and just have rows and rows. But I do have pots and pots, and people would say, "What's here? Watermelon? What's here? What's here?" And so basically, I have different pots and things that I have food in, and I go out and I actually pick my food. And if I don't actually get it from my garden, then I'll go to Miles Market on our way out Miles. And then I'll go to Whole Foods. I go to Trader Joe's. And I also go to Aldi's, because I know Aldi's and Trader Joe's are related stores.
Okay.
And because one owns the other. And so I'll go to those stores.
So you have a circuit as well. You have a circuit of stores that you go to for different things.
Yes, and I
Okay.
used to shop at the West Side Market all the time. You know, and first of all, I started off shopping at the East Side Market when it was downtown before they closed it down.
Okay.
So it's like for years and years I've been like going to the open air markets to get my food.
One quick question. Where do you get your information on things like water or food? With the lead and everything else.
Well, you know what, a friend and I, it was funny because he and I were just talking about all the lead and everything on it and today. And it's like from a report that he showed me.
Okay.
And what else did, and then I had went on the internet and we actually discussed it. And I was talking to him about my nephew. I have a nephew that actually had lead poisoning.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to move on. So Gwen, I know you have the next one.
My name is Gwendolyn Harris. I'm from the Collinwood area. I shop at Dave's Supermarket, but my family, we own land in Orwell, and we grow our own fruits and vegetables. We're in the process of purchasing more land because we want to eat our own fruits and vegetables. Our family is dealing with a lot of cancer issues, and we personally feel as though it's the food. So we want to grow our own food, and we're also in the process of cutting out meats because we're just losing a lot of family members, and our biggest fear is it got to be the food. So in Orwell, the land that we own, there is a spring, so we get water from the spring back there. We're trying to find a company that's going to bottle this water. So I shop at Dave's, but we're definitely in the process of buying more land so we can grow our own food.
And that so that gets into sort of the next question that we wanted to talk about was, do you want to eat healthier, and if so, what's stopping you? Or like buying land to produce food, that's a pretty big step for a lot of people, I think. But if that's how you feel that you need to do it, that's and you're able to, then more power to you.
Well, we love doing it. We've been, my family is from Alabama, so we've been eating and gardening, so we're used to it. But as far as eating healthy, yes, that's my goal, is to eat healthy. But the healthier foods are more expensive. So, you know, we're trying to figure out how to eat healthy, but not, you know, have to spend so much money.
So very similar to what Kenny was saying earlier. Kenny, do you want to pick up on that? Grab a mic and.
What I personally don't understand is we put so many emphasis on we want to eat healthier. Why is it in certain neighborhoods that they have these so-called Whole Foods or these places where the food is supposed to be better than where we buy from like a Dave's or Save-A-Lot, things like that? So why do I have to make more money to go out and spend more money to eat right, is my question. Why do I have to make big money? Why don't they put a Whole Foods in my city, where I'm from? You know, why is that an issue? I don't understand that.
And so we have we have one person back there, and then we'll. Yeah, sorry.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Anita English, and I'm from, I guess I would say from the 105 Superior. What is that? What area is that? Glenville. Okay, so I guess I would be from the Glenville area, or at least that's where I really focus all of my efforts. I've been in the wellness industry for 20 years. I started training people when I was 15, and I wanted to answer these two questions. Where do I shop, and why don't I drink the water from the tap? Oh, geez, where would I start from? Why don't we drink the water from the tap? Well, okay, where do I shop? I shop at like 3 different grocery stores every Saturday, and none of them are in Cleveland proper. I shop at Whole Foods, as he just said. I shop at actually Zagera's and Aldi's, because I don't know if some of you know, but if you go to Aldi's, the same thing that's a step 2 meat at Whole Foods, if it says like it has like 3 frees on it, and it says like free nitrate, free hormone free. Yeah, never any. That's what it says, never any. That's it's the exact same thing as a step 2 meat at Whole Foods, which you pay like $4 to $5 cheaper for, but it's follow the money is what the short answer would be for the gentleman over there as to why we don't have a Whole Foods like in Cleveland proper. Follow the money. And people, when you don't have a lot of expendable income, or you're kind of selling your food stamps to make ends meet, you cannot afford to pay Whole Foods prices. So that's why, because Whole Foods is not going to make any money in the inner city. That's why you never find like a Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or something like that. When I say I've been dealing with this for 20 years, these are my 3 children right here. I've been in the wellness industry in the inner city for the past 20 years, and I'm just so excited. I didn't even know this was going on. I didn't even know this meeting was happening tonight. But where I shop at those 4 different stores because I have to go to those different stores to get what I need at the prices that I can get them at for the
Can you
best.
address the water thing? Because we're going to have to move on.
The water, why don't I drink the water? Because the water that it's very, very, very polluted. Yes, we might do a very good job of cleaning it up, so to speak, downtown, but the pipes that the water come through, how long have they been in the ground? And they're corroded and they're rusty. Like, turn the water on any pipes first thing in the morning, and what does the water look like? So it's not just the quality of that, but then our water is not alkaline. We need to be drinking alkaline water, and the water that comes out of your tap is acidic, and that's part of, as this lady over here was saying, that there's a lot of cancer. Part of the reason why we have all of these problems is because of what we're eating, what we're drinking, and what we're thinking. The food supply in the inner city, it's not food. Anything that comes in a box, it's dead. It has no nutritional value. It has no electrical potential. That's what makes us run. And the food that they serve us, it's in a box. We live in a food desert in the inner city. I'll pass the mic now because I could just go on and on and on.
All right, thank you. So, Rama, you wanted to...
Okay, I have 1 point and a question for the... Okay, my first thing is, for the water, I'm sure before it comes from wherever it comes from, it's as clean as it could be. But like she's saying, the pipes it runs through before it gets to our houses, pollutes it before it gets to us. So why don't the city put some kind of filter at the point where we get it, where it comes into our house? So that's a point. But I was going to ask you, do you shop at the farmers market? Like, we have Coit Road farmers market, and half of the time the farmers take their produce home because nobody buys it and it's cheaper. So it's like, if you don't know about it, what can we do to let the people know where the fresh local foods are?
So you feel like information is a big barrier to access, or?
Yeah, somebody said no, so maybe it's no. It's like sometimes people choose use their money the way they want. But I'm sure if information is added, it will enhance it. I don't know, but the water one is the one I want the government to know, to come and start filtering it from our house.
Okay, and so was it Ella?
Edna.
Edna, okay.
Several things. Well, if you want to know where I shop at Heinen's and Whole Foods because that's where I live and that's where the stores are. And unfortunately, and my husband would agree, I need to think about how much I'm paying. I don't. I just buy it and go home because that's what I do, because then I have to go somewhere else. But I think the big issue for me is that, and my husband is a consultant and has done some work in neighborhoods where there are no grocery stores, where most of the food places are fast food places. And in order for the neighborhood to get to a store where they can buy the fresh food or to a market that you're talking about, is that they don't have the transportation. And they do have some, like, trucks come in with food so many times a month with fresh food that they can get. But then the whole thing is that only goes one place, and the people have to still walk there or take these roller trays or whatever, and they can only get so much in it, to get back home. So it's an issue of us as a nation being more concerned about people having within their neighborhoods the grocery stores that are going to have the health foods that they need, and also to try to put them at a price that people can afford.
So is there,
I need to make one
Yes.
announcement. So for those of you who want to join the marketplace, please feel free to do so. If you want to continue the conversation here, please stay here.
great, thanks, Mike. So is there anybody here who actually does live in a food desert? And I mean, there's a lot of talk about going from store to store, that people do have access to a lot of different places to shop. But is there anybody that lives in a food desert and really feels like they need to? Could you Rama, could you pass the mic? Could you address some of these questions?
I'm from Florida, and I'm used to having a lot of locally grown and organic foods around where I wouldn't have to go way across town to get what I need. But since I've moved here, I've noticed I have to go 20 minutes away to get to Trader Joe's or 30 minutes to get to Whole Foods. But in my area, there's like so many fast food restaurants. So I don't know what the economics of my area is. Some people say it's the poor side. Some people say it's between. So it's more so like supply and demand. What are you demanding in your neighborhood to get what you want? So that's my whole thing in drinking and the drinking of the water. I know about the water, and it's horrible up here. It's horrible. I work for the school board. I'm in nutrition, food and nutrition, and I work for the school boards. And when I tell you it's horrible what they're serving the kids, it's horrible what they're serving the kids. But it's all about, what are you demanding? What are you demanding for your kids to eat? So if we're not saying anything, then nothing's going to happen. In Florida, the way things were done, the parents demanded things. Like, I want my child to have a vegetarian meal. Here, it's one option, and that's it. So it's all about demanding what you want.
And then, was it Kim?
Yes.
Kim, and then Reverend Crystal?
Just to address some of the things you say, I work for Montessori school, and I'm blessed to be there. We serve them good meals, vegetarian meals. We have snacks that are fruits and vegetables every day. We don't serve them sugars at all. So there are some options. But as far as living in a food desert, Glenville to me is a food desert. We just got to save a lot or two, but I always travel in order to get foods from my home. So I go to West Side Market. I go I go further east to Trader Joe's. But if I didn't have a car, there's no way I could have a healthy diet just living in Glenville without one.
Okay. Reverend Crystal?
Oh, well, she left, but she was asking about putting the tablets or something in the water.
At the source where it's
Right.
consumed.
But it's in the pipes. And so the issue is that you have like toxic pipes. And those pipes, they've been in there for years. Those are old pipes. And so you got all kinds of stuff that's traveling through. And they process the water and everything, but the pipes really need to be changed.
So is this this is the first I've actually ever heard about this, the water being an issue. Is this just commonly known?
A lot of people do not drink out the sewer. I mean, sewer to me, but about the faucet. I'm telling you, a lot of them don't. And it's like, I buy distilled water, And right now, I am buying my water from another group, and they have a stream on their land, and they have their water bottled. So that's what I told the other lady, that I can get the number wherever they're having their water bottled, but it comes from this stream. And when I drank that water, it was awesome, you know. So you can tell the difference.
Okay. And we have, is it June?
June.
June, and then Adele.
I wanted to address being in the desert. I live in Beechwood, so some people may consider it being bougie, but I represent East Cleveland because that's where my church home is. And I noticed a big difference in what I have access to living in Beechwood as opposed to being in the inner city and what they have. They have mostly fast foods. They have delis. They have Aldi's. But most parents will go to a fast food store quicker or a restaurant and get the meal for their family. Whereas where I'm at, they have fast foods in Beechwood, but they are far and in between. You have the more healthier stores there. And believe it or not, some people may think that it's more expensive buying from there, but it's not. Because they have sales just like everyone else. You have access to fresh vegetables from the markets. They come in. Where I live on Wednesdays, the farmer's market is right there in the Cleveland Clinic parking area. That's where I buy my fresh vegetables from. It's not because I can't afford to spend more money, but I like fresh vegetables. Even though I told you my favorite food is sweets. It is, but I do eat healthy. And I eat healthy because of my family history. And I'm trying to break the cycle of not becoming a diabetic or having high blood pressure or having high cholesterol. And it's all in your diet. And it's very true. In the inner city, if you don't have transportation, it limits where you can go and shop and how far your dollar can go.
Great. Adele?
So just to simply answer where I shop, I live in East Cleveland, and I live, as I've been told, East Cleveland is described up the hill. So I know that down the hill in East Cleveland is a high concentration of fast food, and I've actually not ever purchased produce other than occasionally going to Coit Road Farmers Market. But I don't make a habit of going to Coit Road's Farmers Market because it's on Wednesdays, and I just don't grocery shop on Wednesdays. It's not my rhythm. I shop at Zagara's, and I shop at Whole Foods, and I shop at the Shaker Square Farmers Market because it's open on Saturday, and that's when I shop because I'm a working mom. I help run a school. I have my own business. But I, too, do not drink water, nor do I want my family, although my husband does whatever he wants to. I won't let our 5-year-old son drink water out of the tap. I have a hard time buying bottled water ethically. So the way I compromise is we have those big refillable jugs, and I go to Whole Foods and buy the water through the reverse osmosis machine because I know I trust that process, reverse osmosis, and that it's cleaned the water. And if we had the budget, I would have a reverse osmosis or some other type of filtration system put on our house. But yeah, I don't feel safe. I don't like the chlorine. I don't like the fluoride in the water, that has a negative impact on the body. And I know the city of Portland has outlawed putting fluoride in the water. And other more progressive, health-oriented cities are very much aware of this public water issue. That, again, Cleveland is it's not in our culture yet in a mass way for people to really push back and demand something better for us and all of our families.
Okay, I wanted to thank everybody for sitting in sight of the camera and making it really easy for Gabe as well. So you had your, and then Elle. Is there another? What's the other mic?
I have it.
Oh, okay. Elle.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks.
I don't want to be in the shot.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, still talking about the water. Um, I was, yeah, because you also cook with the water. So you don't just drink, you don't want to, if you make soups or something like that, water goes into that process. So what I found out, people are saying that they don't like chlorine or toxin, etc. Well, you can clean your water, and guess what? It would be voided of any minerals. So pH would be close to like very acidic. And how healthy that is. You might not have toxins, but you might have water that basically ruins your body, continue to ruin your body. So I found that spring water is the only options or unless you add your own minerals. But for some reason, there are a lot of these bottled waters that already have added minerals to it. They don't have the taste of spring water. They still taste awful. So what I found is the best source is Cleveland spring water that already has minerals in it. So just out there, just putting out there.
Elle, and then
Where do you get Cleveland spring water?
Mark's.
Is it called Cleveland spring water?
It's a company called Distillata.
Oh,
I know what you're talking about when she said that.
Elle,
Okay.
and then Elle had her. Yeah, sorry. Thanks. And then we just for information about food and cooking and everything else, I'd like to get into that and where you go when you are, and especially health and food as well. So Elle, go ahead and say your comments, and then we'll go on to the.
Okay, I
next
just
one.
have to say, I'm from New York City, and I've been here 26 years, and the one thing that I cannot get used to is the water in Cleveland. It just tastes horrible. Now, I've been going back and forth to New York over the last few months, and there's a definite difference in the taste of the water. I don't know if it's the pipes. I don't know what it is, but I'm not the only one, because when my family comes, they're like, oh my God, this is like the worst water we've ever tasted. Don't drink the water. But I do say that I do sometimes drink the tap water, and I just kind of, but I don't, I don't know what it is. I guess I have to do some more investigation, but there's a definite.
So on that topic, then, just to move on, where would you go for information about health and things like water and minerals? If you're going to, if you have questions about that, where do you go?
Well, I mean, you can always call the water department and see and go to Cleveland's website, the water department, Department of Health, do some research on the internet. Also, I mean, Cleveland is a wealth of information. I mean, we've got universities here. I mean, you could probably get some college students or some high school students to do some research and experiments on that too. So I think you use all the resources you can.
Because we have the Grant Foundation here too.
So Reverend Crystal and then Kenny.
Okay, the issue is like when I said that I get water, and the group that I'm getting the water from now is the Moorish American Society, and they have their own spring, and they use reverse osmosis, and that's the process in which they use, and it is excellent. The water is excellent, it's sweet, it's easily, able for your cells to actually intake. And so
But moving on to information about food and health, where do you go for? I mean, you mentioned earlier that there was a report that
that a friend of
your
mine showed me
nephew-
was yesterday, because I walk every day. I walk 3 miles a day. And so he was just walking with me, and then we started talking, and he had this report, and he was complaining about the water. And so we just kind of sat down, for a minute, and I was just looking it over, and we were talking about the lead. But the lead is also, understand that it's in the pipes. And then I said that, you Google, and because I did go and Google, and then, and it's not that I just Googled for Cleveland's water. I just Googled to find out about water, period. But there's an extensive report that talks about the chlorine, how bad the chlorine is for people, and how it dulls the brain and how it dulls the mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Kenny?
Anybody?
I guess I'm gonna take a little, and I'm not gonna get real political on it, but I think that everybody has their own when it comes to their, food, water. I hear everybody saying things about the water, but I've been in other countries and I've been in other cities where I've tasted well water, and when I got back home, I was glad to taste this water, So, I'm just gonna put that out there. I love to taste the Cleveland water compared to what I've tasted in other places. Yeah, I don't drink it a lot because of what has been said about our water. Yeah, I buy the bottled water, all of that stuff. I think it's pretty much because it's convenient with the bottled water. But far as just like all these different reports and all that, I haven't done no research on the report, or have any facts or anything. Again, I cook with it. Y'all put it in my food all the time. If something going on inside of me, I don't know right now. But to me, it tastes fine. Cleveland water tastes fine. I've had worse.
Echo? And could someone pass a mic over to her? Thanks, Reverend.
To touch on the research stuff, it's research is very important. It makes us, I was actually talking to a couple ladies I work with today that, the more you learn, the more you research, the more you read, the more conscious you become about what you are putting inside of your body. So when you're going to the grocery store and you're spending that money, my experience when I turned vegan, I spent less money than I did when I was buying meats and stuff like that. I spend much less money going organic. And when I'm in a store, I'm looking at different stuff and I'm like, I like this, but do I really need it? Is it something that I really want to put in my body? Like, you become more conscious when you do more reading and more research. Even with the water, everybody in here is saying about the water is because we all, are more conscious about what's going on. And it's the same thing with food. You have to be more conscious about it, and you start learning more. You start gaining more. So you learn more about the foods you're buying in the store. You save more money, too.
Okay. Al, did you have your?
I think one of the things that we should think about, because we're all talking about the economics of eating healthy, is how we work together, how we do something collectively so that we have access to the healthy foods. My dollar might not get me the healthy food I need, but if we put all of our dollars together, perhaps all of us working can get. So I think that maybe thinking in terms of cooperatives and things like that might help, even if it's like 5 neighbors getting together on a street.
What would it take to do something like that from your perspective?
Education, outreach. I think those are two of the big things. To have people share their talents, gifts, and skills, which is why Neighborhood is so awesome. Because what I've found is that in a 6-block radius, you probably have all the talents, gifts, and skills to put together a cooperative. But people don't think that way. They don't think that, oh, what I have to offer is valuable to the collective community. So that's what we've got to start people thinking about how what they have to offer is valuable beyond just themselves.
Okay. Do we have time for one more question? Yeah. Because I know Gabe, we're good? Okay. So just and we can go actually just straight down the line, starting maybe with Kenny and going backwards now. We do have an executive producer and a health reporter back there listening, and this is going to be online. What do you sort of want to get out about food in your community? What would you want to express to people that might be interested in reporting on this or knowing about the issues facing your community related to food and health?
I think everybody in here has summed it up. I mean, everybody has their own, pretty much. I think what it all boils down to is convenience and what's convenient for this person. You know, I've also said that maybe financially I could afford more food if I shop at this place, but hearing some people talk and saying, no, if you take, you know, some of your money and shop at different locations, you know what I'm saying, then it might help. I could eat better, you know, but I still think that if a person doesn't have access or transportation, that still becomes an issue for them because they're still going to continue to shop where it's convenient for them. They're a product of their environment. So if I could go here, I got $1 in my pocket and get a Rally Burger, that's where I'm going. You know, I'm not thinking about, okay, well, I could save this money and go up to some other grocery store where I'm eating well. I'm not thinking about all of that. You know, I'm thinking about where can I eat right now? Where can I feed my family right now for what's in my pockets? Mm-hmm. Bottom line.
Could you pass the mic? Thanks.
Well, something I haven't, I didn't know Edna left. I haven't heard anybody talk about is time, which you kind of touched on it, which is just that I don't have time. If I'm working and I have kids, which I do, I don't have a lot of time to go to different places. And I may be in a situation where I need food right now. I mean, if you have kids, kids don't wait for you to go home and prep the food. So it takes time and planning. I feel like I have better, smoother weeks, and we eat healthier when I have the time on the weekend to plan. But there are weekends when I just don't have the time. So I think money and access is one. I lived in Euclid and recently moved to Beechwood. So if I'm in Euclid and I'm driving by a Wendy's or all these fast food places, it's very easy for me to be able to satisfy my kids by just going through a drive-through quickly, than going home and having them wait for an hour while I put something together. So
That's
time,
a really great
time.
point. Really great point. Thank you. Reverend, and then, yeah, looks like it's you, Reverend.
Okay, well, what I think basically people need to know about collective consciousness is that most of them are dissatisfied with the fact that they do not have good grocery stores in the community. And they don't really stop to think that, yeah, we could, get together and get our own grocery store together. The one thing that I always say, if you had 100 women that each one of them gave $1,000, you'd have $100,000. And you could basically open up any grocery store that you want, and everybody would actually shop there because you'd have 100 families that would support that because they put their money in there. So they need to be able to understand that, yeah, there is a way that we can have better groceries, better food in our community. Even if we had 1,000 women that gave $100, you still would have that sum $100,000. And if you did that, then what would happen? Then you'd have 1,000 families that would support that one store.
Great. Al? And then we'll get back to you.
I live in University Circle. We actually did not even have a grocery store till recently. So, and it's not the cheapest one that we have now. But I still think that we're well supplied in terms of distance-wise. You can still walk to or take transportation to Mark's if that's what you desire. And have some local produce also sold around here. So I don't even have a suggestion how to improve it more. But I do have an idea that maybe people should cook more and dig out some recipes and be proactive about this. And life could be much better if you, I mean, you can have fast food once in a while, but try to develop some cooking skills, and you would be surprised how the variety you would bring into your life. I mean,
What do you think the barriers are to that?
to cooking yourself?
Yeah.
Maybe time for some people. Maybe some people lazy. They just prefer to do something else than cooking, you know, because it's time consuming. So you basically have to stay in the kitchen for, 6 hours every day, you know, to
Yeah, I'm.
No, I mean, no, I'm not saying 6 hours in a row, but just in general, whole day long. Like if you do want to eat, like breakfast and lunch and dinner, etc. So yeah. Anyway, and yeah, looking for some recipes, and it's also time consuming. And some recipes have like 10 different varieties of food. So you also have to like have all this available.
Source all those ingredients.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't have to run somewhere to Rutabagas or whatever just to have it available for your meal. So yeah.
Okay. June?
I've found that one of the things is if you really paid attention to how much sodium, artificial ingredients, sugars that you find in the fast food foods, you would pass it up and start doing more home cooking and using natural foods without all of the additives that you get from a fast food restaurant. Every now and then, it's nice to be able to eat out, but not on the regular. I've heard individuals say it's time consuming. I'm old school. My parents were from the South. I learned how to cook from scratch. That's the only way I know how to cook. And it all changed in the last 6 months because being retired, and now I have a 13-year-old that I'm helping to raise. And all she knows is fast food. So trying to change her mindset and get her to understand and to teach her how to cook with fresh foods at home and not stopping at the restaurant. A good meal for her is to say, let's go to McDonald's and get chicken McNuggets and a caramel frappe. That's a meal for her, but not for me. So I think that's that. I can remember as a child growing up off of 85th and Superior, there were 5 families, my family included. Those 5 women would get together. They made sure they got to the grocery store, picked up what they needed, and at the end of the month when food became short, they would call each other and say, what do you have? Somebody might have rice. Someone may say, well, I got chicken or I got black-eyed peas. But those 5 women came together and prepared a healthy meal for 30 children and their husbands. And no one ever complained. We weren't concerned about health issues.
So there was a cultural shift at some point
Yes.
and an educational shift.
Yes.
How is that going when you're talking about trying to change the habits of a 13-year-old?
We have our good days, and we have our days that because I said so, and that ends the discussion.
And she is 13. So.
Yes, she is 13, but she's getting better. And now she'll say, Nana, what are you cooking for dinner tonight? And that's a big shift for her because I'm serious. Every day it was, I want to go to McDonald's, or when you come from work, can you stop at Burger King? Or can you stop at Wendy's? And I'm like, you know, my dollars were long before you came along. Now, because if I stop at those places, what are the chances I'm going to go home and cook something for myself? That's not going to happen because I'm there and it's like, well, I might as well get the same thing. So it is a learning curve and it is a shifting. But I believe if we all can pull together and communicate, I believe lack of communications is one of the big issues.
Okay, Elle, you passed before, but now you want to say?
I do. I do. And I do want to reflect on it. We've lost the village mentality. So it seems like people are out in silos. So if someone doesn't have the means to meet their food challenge at the end of the month, do they go? Do I go to you, Lila? No. I look at my $5 and like, well, we can split a rally burger for the next 5 days or something like that. So getting back to the village mentality where we as a village help each other is one of the things. And one of the big issues is advertising. All of this stuff on TV that kids get to see. There's a couple of generations that have grown up watching the Big Mac commercials and stuff like that. They haven't been seeing the healthy things out there. I think they're trying to do a little bit of that now, not nearly enough. So they've grown up with that type of stuff thrown at them constantly. So that's what they want. So that's one of the things that we have to address too. How come there aren't healthy options advertised as much as, if not more than, the McDonald's burgers, the fast food stuff and all of that? And the other thing is now we have kids that have grown up on this, and now they're having kids and their kids are growing up on this. Sometimes, and when I'm riding the bus or something like that, and I see in the early morning a young mother giving their kids cheese doodles and all of that stuff for breakfast, and it kills me to keep my mouth shut because Lila knows I like to talk. I'm like, oh, you should give them something a little more healthy. Just a little bit, I said, just a little more healthy in the morning to get their day going. I said, and then they won't drive you crazy going, like this. But we've got to be able to provide options in a village setting where people feel comfortable, feel loved, and welcomed, and not criticized and ostracized because they're doing that. So we have to, as a village, figure out how to do that, in Elle Adams' opinion.
Love that. And what we were saying about advertising, in 1984, the first word that I ever knew how to spell was McDonald's. And I got a double cheeseburger, or whatever, Big Mac. I got a Big Mac for my troubles from my parents. That was the prize.
Oh, well, I'll make you laugh.
So it doesn't, Echo and...
Oh, my son is 27, and when he was born, I'm divorced now, but my husband worked at McDonald's, and we never fed our kid McDonald's.
Basically, it's all about knowledge and demand. I think all of us have agreed and touched on that. Knowing and learning and being together as a community, coming back together as a community, and teaching. I heard you over there about those chips. I'm not the type to be quiet. I'm not the type to be quiet. I make little mild suggestions. Like, I work with a boy who's autistic, and autistic kids like to feel stuff at the top of their mouths. So they like to eat certain textures. I began to introduce him to fresh vegetables. His mom came to me and said, "Oh, I love you so much." Because now he's eating carrots and celery, but it's fresh. And it's all because she's in the mindset, I'm going to give him all he wants to eat, all he knows to eat. because you haven't tried anything else. So it's all about switching things around a little bit, learning a little bit more on what you can do with your family, and being together as a community and communicating and things like that. So it can come together. We can get it back together. We just got to work. It's going to take a lot of work.
What do you think the first steps for that would be?
Communication. Communication, opening your mouth and saying something, because if you don't say anything, then nothing's going to be heard. So it's all about communication.
Yeah, go ahead and then we'll.
Okay.
Okay. I just have an issue with, okay, I understand why we having this, but I think, why is it a difference in the communities? So why is it that if I go to my store is different from the store 2-3 miles away? Give me the product, put the product in my stores. The same product that you putting in these other stores, put it in my store. So now I have access to it, and I ain't got to worry about transportation. I ain't got to worry about my budget. My budget should be able to afford something that's good for me. You know, why am I being exposed to this, what she call it, a second or third tier food, type of food? If I go in this grocery store, I'm looking at a pack of meat that's been frozen 3 or 4 times to where the bones are dark. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at stuff that looks half spoiled. You know, the dates are a week away from being spoiled. But if I go to a store in a suburban neighborhood, the meats are fresh. The bones are clear, you know what I'm saying? So give me the product, put it in my community, and now I have access to it. Why is that an issue? It shouldn't be money, though. It shouldn't be money.
And it's, exactly.
Yeah. I would have a different opinion than you guys slightly. We didn't have a grocery store in University Circle. I think we have nobody to blame but us. We can get to the place if we want to. We can cook the healthy food if we want to. There is no one who can stop me from buying better food if I am not satisfied with what's around. I understand, but I cannot wait until changes happen and someone builds the store or whatever. It's just, it's me. I'm the one who is finding recipe. I'm the one who is doing research. I'm the one who cultivate good habits that whoever, if I have children at home, would not eat crappy food, but would see my example that I'm cooking something and he likes or she likes it, and they continue it. If you put a soda in front of me and it's free and it's accessible, I would not touch it. I would go to a water fountain and drink some water. I mean, it's really, I really blame, we just have to blame ourselves, you know. See, I think different. In America, we have everything available. If it's a matter of distance, that's okay for me.
Okay. We are running up against time, though, so I did want to say thank you to everybody for participating. We did end up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about the number that we expected. So thank you very much for sticking around.